welcome back to Gut Feelings Life Unfiltered. So, today's episode, guys, is going to be so fun. We are talking about some really amazing, awesome things that Dr. Mel and I have been so interested in the past couple years. And we have a special guest with us. So, we have Claire Schemer. I don't know if I said that right.
You got it.
Okay. She is a licensed professional counselor in Oregon. That is where my dad lives. And she is a transformational coach and spiritual mentor. And Claire uses approaches including internal family systems. So that's what we're going to be really talking about today, guys, because it's amazing work. And also parts work to help people understand the different protective patterns operating beneath their emotions, behaviors, relationships, and even their physical experiences. So, we wanted to have this conversation because so many women are doing all the right things. We're eating all the right foods, we're taking the right supplements, we're exercising, we're even seeing like a million different practitioners, but their bodies may still feel tense, reactive, exhausted, inflamed, and unsafe. So, today we're exploring whether some of our symptoms and patterns may also be connected to parts of us that have been working very hard to protect us. So, I would love for you, Claire, just to tell us a little bit about you and what kind of brought you to this work. And then we can get into more about IFS.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, ladies. So good to be here with you today. Yes. So I'm a licensed professional counselor. That is where I practice IFS or internal family systems. I'm also a certified coach. So I'm trained in other parts work like modalities. I don't do IFS in my coaching, but I love offering IFS for my therapy clients. It's a powerful evidence-based modality, and it's really starting to take the world by storm. More and more people are finding out about it. I think it's funny, even some different celebrities are talking about how IFS has
Oh,
been part of their journey and how it was so life-changing for them. So very excited
yeah.
to be sharing about this more with your audience because I know I was a therapist for many years first. Before I stumbled upon this modality, my workplace was doing a training on it. And once I did the training, I was so taken aback by it. I was like, this makes so much sense. Everybody needs
Wow.
to know about this.
Yes.
It's a whole different perspective and framework for how we look at ourselves as human, why we do the things that we do, whether it's maladaptive patterns or struggles we have in our life, why we deal with these different emotions. We don't even necessarily realize why they're there or what's at the root of it. And it's a beautiful, really compassionate model on how to work really with any struggle that you have. And IFS, it's called internal family systems. People are like, why is it called that? It's because inside of yourself, the way that this looks at the human psyche basically is that we have our truest self. It's who we are at our core. This is the best version of us. It's all the best qualities. It's like this untainted place within you, no matter what you go through in life, and you always have access to it. However, we go through life, we go through challenges, sometimes traumas. I think everyone has trauma,
Yeah.
big to or little t, right?
Yes.
Um, and basically, we go through these things, and different, quote, parts of us come up along the way. So let's say, for example, if you went through a really challenging situation, like I will speak for myself, I had a medical trauma back in 2020. It was terrifying for me. I thought I was going to die. I struggled with weird ongoing symptoms from it for a few years. My nervous system was so dysregulated going through it all. And the way that IFS would look at that is that when I went through that traumatic event, there were parts of me that were so overwhelmed. They didn't know what to do. I'm going to the hospital. I basically had like an anaphylactic reaction, maybe a neurotoxin. To this day, we're not really sure what happened that
Oh,
particular night.
gosh.
But there was a part of me that was really scared and it was so overwhelmed. And for years, it was like this part of me was there that was always scanning, always hypervigilant, always worried about what am I going to eat? How is it going to affect my body? Because I had weird symptoms for a long time after that. So that's what IFS would call the exile. It's the place within you that carries the burdens, the scary emotions, the hard thing you went through. They also talk about how we have protector parts within us. So these are parts within you that are trying to protect you from ever feeling those big scary feelings. So let's say like hypervigilance was like my protector part, constantly scanning the room, making sure that I don't go into a situation that's going to trigger a symptom again. That part of me made me very rigid. I was very inflexible with life, but it was there to protect me from feeling those bad feelings again and going through that traumatic event. So basically, no matter what you go through, and it's really interesting, like symptoms you experience in your body can also be connected to parts of you too, like a
Yeah.
protective part of you. So let's say if you have gut issues, I can tell more about an interesting study they did on rheumatoid arthritis about this, but it's really, really fascinating when you begin to see yourself from the perspective of a parts work. There's like an internal family system of parts within you, and it's learning how do we bring them back into balance.
So what do the gut issues mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so every
Asking
person
for a
is
friend.
Tell me about
right?
it.
Asking for a friend. So, let's say for people who struggle with gut issues, what's really interesting with the IFS modality is that you can talk to your body. You can talk to your symptoms. Sometimes a symptom is genuinely just a physical symptom going on, and it just is the way it is. However, the whole idea is that typically, because we're multifaceted beings, we are emotional beings and we're physical beings, they're usually very interconnected. What you can do is actually talk to the symptom. So let's say if you have recurring ongoing stomach aches or stomach pain or IBS or whatever that symptom is, something you can try doing is bringing out a journal and very simply just writing at the top of the page, like, hi, stomach ache, or hi, whatever the symptom is. This is me. What do you want me to know today? And it can feel really strange to do that at first because you're like, why am I
Nothing strange on
talking?
this
Nothing's
podcast.
gonna come forward. Like, what would this do? But what's really interesting is if you slow down and ask the body and just listen inside, you might start to hear words inside. You might see an image inside. And then you just write down whatever you're hearing in response. What's really interesting, they did a study on rheumatoid arthritis. They had a big study of women who were really struggling with this chronic issue. They did half the group just did like regular educational, how do you manage these symptoms? The other group, they did IFS. And what's really fascinating is as women went through the study, this is what they were practicing, talking to their body, talking to the parts within them that they were finding inside. And what's really fascinating is they were finding that their body was saying things such as, I have to cripple you because you will not take care of yourself.
Wow.
You're always taking care of everyone else and not yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So you saw this theme with a lot of these women, this pattern, and the body was so intelligent saying, I'm slowing you down because
Yeah.
you won't listen to me.
Oh my
And
God, I have like full body goosebumps
isn't
right
that
now.
crazy?
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
insane.
I feel like that's why I have this MS diagnosis, because I know my body was trying to slow me down and I really was not listening whatsoever. So I wish I had found this work years ago, honestly.
Yes, and it's so fascinating, like, these women, it's like, they're like, "Okay, great. Now I know that this is what's
Yeah.
going on. What do I do with it?" What's really beautiful is using IFS, it's like you learn how to meet those places inside because these women had a caretaking part of them. I have to take care of everybody else, and I'm
Yeah.
scared what will happen if I don't play this role. But it's learning how to, like, release these parts from the burdens they carry, these roles they feel forced into playing in order to protect them from something. By the end of this study, a lot of these women's symptoms drastically decreased. Some of them went into full remission just
Wow.
by doing this work. So it's really, really powerful. If nothing else, it's great to add into whatever you're already doing physically for your health.
So
Yeah.
then so it's because we all have these lives that require, as women in a certain age, whatever, we have a lot of responsibilities, whether we're taking care of parents or children or animals or whatever. It we still have to live that life. So this is saying like you can do that and you can heal, right? Like you're not eliminating the burdens, right?
Yes. Right. Because if you think about, like, again, going back to this modality beliefs, we have our truest self. So it's like the most calm, connected, clear minded, curious, open. It's like the best version of you. If we did our life with all of our responsibilities from that place, we would probably do it really differently versus from these parts within us that feel like they have to manage life, or they're like
Right.
forced into a role probably that they learned early on in life or
Yeah.
earlier somewhere. I have to do it this way, otherwise something bad's going to happen. But it's like it's coming from a place of like I have to fix, versus when you do it from your truest self, it's like this feels authentic, it feels organic. And the beautiful thing is, in our truest self, we have healthy boundaries. Like we know where to set those limits. We know how to prioritize ourselves and others, but finding that balanced way. So it's really beautiful when people learn how to access, they call it self energy, your truest self, basically, and introducing the parts of you to this true self. Like, oh, I didn't even know I had access to that. Like, I didn't even know that was possible to handle life in this way. It's so much simpler and less complicated, but it takes time to get to know these parts, explore why are you playing the role that you're playing? Why are you choosing to manage your responsibilities in this particular way? And with time, learning to unburden them so they can, because the beautiful thing is, doing this work's powerful when you are like in a session, you're meeting this part, it's beginning to become like awaken to the truth that like I don't have to handle life this way anymore. Like these parts become so carefree and they're lighthearted. All of a sudden, physically feel lighter in your body. Your symptoms can decrease sometimes, all because they're not carrying a role that was never really theirs to carry anyways. So it's really, really powerful, but it's all going into these unique parts and getting to know them specifically and what do they need.
Can we talk about the parts? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us about the parts.
tell me about all the parts.
Yeah. So again, kind of going back to their basic framework, there's exiles. These are the ones that carry the wounds. A lot of times it's inner children. Like we have these younger versions of ourselves. Like like they carry the wound of shame. They carry the wound of I'm not enough. Whatever that kind of bigger emotion is that it's carrying from earlier in life. Protector parts, what do I need to do to avoid ever feeling that way? I don't want to go through that. I have to make sure I show up. Maybe it's like I'm very hyper independent or I'm an overachiever. You know, they come out and they protect us from feeling that deeper feeling. Then they also have another part called a firefighter. These are more extreme parts. So let's say when that wound is touched, I feel not good enough. I feel shame. I feel fear, whatever that is. A firefighter is a more extreme response that you'll have in order to get the fire to go out, to get the pain to go away. Let's say when people are turning to substance use, that's an example of a firefighter part. Suicidal thoughts can be a firefighter part. But even these parts are good. The beautiful framework with all of these parts, there's no bad parts. Every part has a good intention behind it. Every part is trying to serve you and support you. And it's all about how do I get curious to understand, like, why are you doing what you're doing? What's the good intention? And now let me just help your deeper need inside in a healthy way so you don't have to do your maladaptive thing in order to get the need met. I don't know if there's like an example you guys have with whether it's your own life, whether it's clients' life that you typically are seeing maybe in your practice. And we could talk about like an example of how you could use IFS with
I'll
that.
say with me, I've felt like I have this like internal battle between like I don't know, I didn't know all about this IFS, but it was almost like two parts of me. Like the one that was like I called her like an evil stepmother because I felt like she would always tell me no, I couldn't do things I wanted to do. Like if I wanted to go on a vacation, it would be like, no, you can't do that. Like you can't close the practice. Or like if I wanted to do anything fun, like she would be telling me I couldn't do it. And it was an interesting battle that I feel like I had.
That's a great example. And a lot of times you'll kind of see like it's like this polarity between two different parts. There's the one that's like really extreme this way, and then you have another that's extreme the other way to try and bring balance. Like I don't know if this is for you, but like I know for other people who have like a really strong, like it's like an inner critic, an inner mean girl, an evil stepmother, like that extreme part, you're gonna have another extreme part that's like, I really want to go and relax, or I really just want to go play. Like I really like want to like maybe procrastinate and not do the things I need to do. They're fine. Like, it's like they're trying to seek balance in this way, but it can feel so hard for yourself because you're like, I feel like I'm yo-yoing back and forth between these. to, and I don't feel healthy in either of them. So that's where it'd be really, I think one of the best places to start is, and what IFS says, start with the protector. So let's say the evil stepmother figure or the one that's so hard on you. That's the one to start getting curious towards.
Mm,
Because so often we want to judge these parts.
mhm.
We think they're bad. You're
Yeah.
ruining my life. I just wish you weren't here.
Yeah.
That's a subtle form of self abandonment.
Ah,
And it's normal. Every human does that, until you become aware that that's what's going on. I know for myself, I've been practicing IFS for years and I still judge these parts within myself
yeah.
until I intentionally slow down, get to know them more. But it would be really beautiful, let's say, for example, with that part within you, to ask her, like, what are you afraid's going to happen if you don't play this role in my life?
Ah.
And see what comes up for her. You might even ask her, like, how long have you felt like you need to play this role? Like, when did this start for you? When in my life did you feel like you needed to play this role for me? You just slow down and you listen and you see what comes up. Sometimes it's a flash of a memory. Sometimes it's just words. You might see this little character in your mind that represents this part of you, but it gives you information and then you begin to understand more clearly what's going on. And a lot of times it's going to surprise you, because these protector parts, they can kind of feel like monsters inside. When you
Yeah.
start to explore them and get to know them more, it's like, oh, this is just a big scary mask, but really, like,
Yeah.
there's like a wounded inner child within you that you're
Wow.
actually, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like, who's the guy behind the screen? That's really what's going on. And when you get to access that place, then you know how to nurture them. You bring them back into alignment. It's like you get to reparent those parts, really. And
Wow.
that's when things begin to change.
It almost sounds like shadow work a little bit, like because we're acknowledging all, like you said, all parts of even like what we deem as bad, right? But they're not bad. They're just protective mechanisms, right? Um,
Exactly. Yeah,
it's so
beautifully said.
interesting.
I like
It's
that
really
reframe too, because I feel like automatically we do, or I do, like you do think that part is bad, and you kind of want to be like, oh, just get out of here. Like, I hate you. Like, why are you here? Like, I don't need you.
Or like even like positive think out of things, like
yes.
like that, like toxic. Sorry, Jen, to cut you off, but it just like thought of that. Like you said, push it. You're pushing it away, but it's like, um, only think positive thoughts and it'll leave. But that's you can't run from it, right?
So you're saying to really just like acknowledge and connect with this thing that we feel like we don't really like, we don't want it there, but to try to understand it.
Exactly. Because the truth is, I love the quote, like, "The blocks aren't in the way, they are the way." Whatever's
Mm.
blocking you from being your truest self, that's exactly the path to go down. That's exactly where you need to go. Instead of, like, existing with it or pushing it away, turning towards it. And if feeling loving, compassionate feelings towards it is too much to start, just even seeing if you can be a little bit more curious towards it. That's one of the characteristics of your truest self is curiosity. Like, can I just get curious towards this one? Because it's true. It's like people can try and do the positive thinking route too. The truth is that's just another protector part. That's just another
Oh,
part.
son of a bitch.
You start to see there, it's like, oh, okay, you're the one that plays that role because you didn't know another way to handle this.
Oh,
I know.
that is
It's
so
really it's
interesting.
really interesting too to think of like loved ones in your life. And when you think of the crazy things that they do or the things you judge, patterns they have or traits they have, it's like, oh, that's just your protector part. Like, oh, okay, that's your firefighter part. Oh, okay, now I see what's going on. All of a sudden, we have more compassion for everyone when you
Yeah.
see them in this lens. When you begin to like do this work on yourself, it's like it's positively projected onto the world. And it's really beautiful when it begins to change the way you operate in the world and the compassion you have for others. And also learning how to set boundaries differently. Because it's like, oh, I'm not working with the adult you. I'm working with like a 14-year-old you.
Yeah.
And when you know that and when you know how to respond to it, you just show up so differently in your relationships.
Oh, that's
So what would it look like to be in your truest self? Tell me about
Yeah. What
that.
is that like?
Yeah.
So something that you can like right now, even listeners can try this. You guys can try this too. Just kind of focus in on your body for a moment and just notice like where do I feel? I'm going to name the 8 characteristics of the true self and see if you can find within yourself these feelings that come up. So there's like, where within yourself do you feel the qualities of calmness, courage, clarity, curiosity, compassion, confidence, creativity, and connectedness? Like, just noticing, like, where do I feel those traits inside of me? Where do I feel like my best, truest, authentic self? Like, sometimes it can be helpful to even access a memory in your life. Like, when was a memory in your life when you just felt like that was really me? I just fully showed up as myself. I felt alive. I felt free. I felt fully me. What that feeling is, that is how you begin to access, okay, that's that true self. She's in there. When we go through hard things in life, when we go through trauma, like it kind of blocks that feeling. It's kind of like the clouds in front of the sun, but the sun's always there. So just kind of tuning in within yourself and noticing, what does it feel like when I access that version of me? Sometimes when people access their true self, you can almost feel like this warmth inside. You feel a groundedness. Your posture might change. Sometimes people feel like tingling down their arms a little bit. Like you begin to feel it when you're accessing that place within you. I don't know if you guys even notice that a little bit now when you like reflect, where do I feel that version of me? What does
Yeah.
it feel like inside?
When now, if a person's like, I don't know what that feels like. I mean, where it like, there's always a place to start. Like, what are the slivers of like hope that people can feel if they're not close to even feeling like that?
Yeah, totally. I think it can be helpful. Like, think of like whether it's a loved one in your life, it could be a pet in your life. Like, who is someone that you feel loving, compassionate, kind feelings towards? If you can think of like, who's the version of me I am when I think of that person or that pet or that thing in my life, that is you accessing that place within you. So that can be a helpful access point to get back to. I think it's helpful to go back into a memory. Like, what's like one of your favorite memories from your life where you just felt so free and so you? It's like, feel that memory as if it's happening now in your body, and that can help to elicit those feelings. The other thing too is this is why it's so powerful to work with someone who's IFS trained, because they get to hold that true self energy in the room with you until you begin to access it within yourself. Because it can take some time to get back to that place.
Yeah. That's cool. And I feel like the IFS work, it works with the nervous system. We always talk about the nervous system. And I
Yes.
feel like a big part of it is like safety for the nervous system. So for us and with our clients, like we all know, like, hey, I'm safe. Like nothing's trying to kill me right now. But
Yeah,
in our body, we don't feel safe. And where do you even begin working with somebody that almost can't like connect the unsafe feeling that they do feel deeper down inside?
totally. I think once again, blocks aren't in the way, they are the way. So it's like, where's my block to feeling safety right now? Like maybe it's like, I just feel this chronic unsafety, like in my chest, or my heart's racing, or my chest is tight, or I feel this knot in my stomach. Typically, nervous system work, it's in your body. You're going to feel it somatically like that. I think it's really helpful. Another way where you can create a little bit of distance between you and the parts of you, it's like, because the truth is, like, when we are going through, like, chronic struggles like that, we feel very what they call blended with the part. I feel like I am this part of me. I am unsafety. That is, like, literally the worldview I'm in, and I feel so stuck there. What you can do is, like, okay, where do I feel this unsafety right now? Again, like, is it in your throat? Is it in your chest? Is it in your gut? Is it, like, in your shoulders, in your hands? You just notice, where is it in my body? It can be helpful then to be like, if this sensation had a shape, what shape is that? So
Mm.
let's say if you feel like a ball of anxiety in your chest, it's like, oh, it's like a round circular shape. So you're noticing that. What color does it have? If you could assign a color to this sensation, this feeling of unsafety, maybe it's like it's red and orange and hot and it's this circle. All of a sudden you've created a little bit of separation, which is healthy. Like, I'm observing the unsafety within me. Something is observing the unsafety. That thing that's observing it is your truest self. And from that place, once you identify, like, where in my body do I feel unsafety? How is it manifesting in this moment? From that place, then you can move into, if you want, dialoguing with it. Like, unsafety, what do you want me to know right now? What are you afraid of? With compassion, with openness. And I think it helps to journal it. Like, write down on a page what's everything that unsafety says right now. If it could speak raw, unedited, whatever wants to come up, we're going to let it come up. Typically, from this place, this is what people do. They immediately jump into logic, rationale. Well, you don't need to be worried about this. Everything's going to be okay. You know this. Do you know that? It's like all of a sudden we jump to logic and we miss an important key step, which is we first have to validate and accept where it's at. A lot of times people are really skipping this step, and that's why the emotion stays locked in place.
Wow.
Because the truth is, if we're identified with a part, like I'm blended with it, or if I judge the part of me, I'm stuck with the emotion. When I disidentify with it, I get a little separation from it. And when I accept the emotion, then it can move through. Then my body can start to metabolize it.
Wow.
So when you, let's say if you journal it down on safety, what do you want me to know today? See what it writes down. Your next step is just to validate it. Thank you for telling me that. I'm so sorry you're feeling this way. You make sense. It makes so much sense to me why you're so insecure, why you're so feeling unsafe. Like, this is completely valid. A lot of times when we begin to say a statement like that over ourselves, that alone begins to melt the feeling, or it brings peace to it a little bit, or it's like, oh, I've never been heard before. You're always telling me I need to not be afraid. It's like these parts are like yearning, just, can you see me? Can you have compassion for me? Is it okay that I exist? And so I think that's even just that process alone. Where do I feel it in my body? Letting it speak and just validating it is really powerful. Another simple step you can ask after that is like, unsafety, what do you need in this moment? And just pause and listen. Don't cognitively try and come up with something. Like, let the sensation speak to you. It might say like, I really need a hug right now, or I really need reassurance, or I really need this person to do this thing in my life. So from that place, now you know exactly what unsafety is needed in that moment. And then when you can insource that need with your truest self, like, can I come and give you a hug right now? Can I be the one to give you the reassurance you need? Maybe it's like, I need to set up a next step for myself. Maybe I need to reach out to this person and request they do this for me. Maybe I need to maybe I need to set a boundary in my life. You know, you're letting unsafety lead you back into peace, because it is the way. So that's a really simple, like, 4 steps as you can walk through. That alone, you're going to feel breakthroughs happening. One, because you're finally connecting with it instead of trying to bypass it.
Yeah.
And two, you're actually like meeting the need that it's actually looking for, because you slow down to really listen. So that's not like formally the IFS steps. That's more of like a broken down version I like to teach my therapy clients. But it's really powerful when you take the time to do that.
I feel like I struggle with even knowing, like, I kind of go through that a little bit, but then I struggle with like, what do I need? Like, even Jen, like, I was having a moment and Jen was like, do you need a hug? And I was like, no. And then I was like, oh, wait, I do. Do you remember that? It was like last week. I was like, I don't know, I'm having like a moment. And she's like, do you need a hug? I'm like, no. And then I was like, oh, wait, get your ass over here. I need a hug. So I think that's, it's just, I'm just like telling a personal part of like my journey, but I feel like sometimes I can like observe and acknowledge, like, I know that I'm a ruminator, and I know like I do that when things are quiet. So I'm starting to observe that. But then like the next steps, I'm like, okay, now what? You know, do I need a nap? I don't know.
So are there tips to connect to what? Like, I do think it is hard for us to connect to then the next step of what we need, because it's like, well, this is weird. Like,
well, we've been abandoning ourselves for years, right? And so how would we know we've been taking care of everybody else?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's when the body starts to manifest these physical symptoms.
Oh, yeah.
If we're not slowing down and listening, it'll do these funny sideways things to get our attention.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't realize that's what it's really about. But it's true. It's like, I think it can be really hard if you feel like you're driving 60 miles per hour and it's like, wait, how do I just go to zero now? Like, what? I have to sit and I have to like feel this all of a sudden, and I got to like listen. It can feel really hard and foreign to do it. I find a lot of times, like when I'm doing this work with my clients, like especially people who are very high achieving, the ones who really hate to slow down, or they're like, I'm such a heady person. It is really hard for me to like feel things in here or access
That's Dr.
them.
Octor.
unexpected.
Yes, it can feel so foreign. It's like, I'm so used to being cerebral, like, how do I get that? But
Yeah.
the truth is, it's like, we all have this ability. We all have this it's like it's kinda like learning to strengthen that muscle. And a lot of times people think cognitively, it's a part of them. It's like, "If I slow down, it's not gonna work. Don't even
Mhm.
bother trying.
Mm.
I don't know what I need," right? It's like they like, these parts of us, like, it's the last thing they wanna do is slow down. Like,
Yeah.
that one protector part is if you slow down, then you're gonna have to feel the shit you don't wanna feel.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
But the truth is, if you actually just try doing that, like set a timer for 5 minutes. It doesn't need to drag on. It could be a short spurt, but just test out turning within. They call it introception instead of exteroception. We're so good at that. Introception, it actually uses a certain part of your brain. And it can take time to strengthen that. But if you get used to like just slowing down for 5 minutes, let me just tune within and let me just ask the question. And I'm just gonna listen in silence and just see what comes up. Usually it's really gonna surprise you. Stuff does come up. Information comes forward, like it's been waiting for it. But we never slow down enough and actually tried the steps to wait and to see what would happen. It can be really powerful. And I will say, for people who have big T trauma, if you feel like there's unresolved trauma in your past, it might be better to wait to do this with someone who's a trained professional because when we finally slow down and look within, sometimes our body's going to bring stuff up that hasn't been able to be processed in years. And it can be helpful to just be with someone who's trauma informed, knows how to support you in regulation through that.
Yeah.
But it's really powerful. I think the power of listening to our bodies, the power of listening to ourselves, it's really life changing. And then we have the access to do this for other people in a different level too.
So,
Amazing.
like, okay, so for me, I had a big T trauma. I lost my husband 4.5
Yes.
years ago or so. From like a grief perspective, like you touched on that for a little bit, but I do, if we could talk about that, that would be interesting. I mean, I like what you said about having a licensed practitioner in your corner to support you through that, because I know at certain times I had, like, fringy kind of like treatment stuff, and like those people were not exactly safe, and it wasn't like a great, or they were professionals and it wasn't safe, and they didn't have like my best interest at heart. But then when I found the people that carried me through emotionally, like I was like, oh, I had to do it with other people. I couldn't have gone through my grief alone.
Yes.
So can we talk a little bit about grief and how this kind of ties into that?
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that about your husband. I'm so sorry that you went through that. Yeah, grief is its own animal, right? It's like there's sadness, there's depression, like those are feelings, those are parts of us. Grief really is its own thing. Like, they've seen in studies with the brain when people go through a loss like a grief, the parts of the brain highlight as if it's like a physical trauma, like a limb's cut off. Like it really is like a physical pain is what it feels like in grief. And grief is different than other emotions. Like other emotions, neuroscientists have found it takes 90 seconds to feel an emotion all the way through when we know how to do it properly. Like we can metabolize our emotions very quickly when we're embodied, when we know how to be in the body and feel the emotion without a story of the mind. Grief is a little different. Like we can drop in our body and open to grief and feel it fully, but it's gonna be here a while. Like this isn't one of those feelings that is just I just felt it for 90 seconds and it's gone. It's gonna be here a bit. Grief is also, you can consider that a part of yourself. Absolutely. And grief is looking to be heard. Grief is looking to be witnessed. It's like pain demands to be seen. And as we know, grief, like no matter what you feel, whatever you don't feel in grief, all of it's normal because grief is nonlinear. Um, Anything you feel or don't feel is going to be a part of that process. And it's just witnessing, how do I be with what I'm feeling in this moment? And it's so helpful to have people around you. If you feel like, I don't know how to be with this by myself, I don't have enough capacity for it, bringing in those trusted loved ones, trusted professionals is so powerful
Mhm.
because a lot of the times it's like, it's so therapeutic for people to tell the story of loved ones who have passed, for example. It's like, I just need to talk about the story. I need this to be witnessed. You're looking for a compassionate witness a lot of the time in grief, even if it's not telling the story of the person's life or memories you have with them, even if it's just like, right now, I just feel completely numb and I don't know what I need, but I just feel numb. Can you just be with me in my numbness? We don't need to
Mm.
fix it. We don't need to change it. We're just going to give numbness permission to exist. And that is so powerful. That is the healing work. Can I just allow it to exist instead of I shouldn't be feeling this way, or this feels really hard, I don't know how to be with it. Having people in the room to be with it with you is so powerful.
Okay.
And I'm
I
so glad you
love
said
that.
that.
Yeah.
I love that you said that. Like, even with the diagnosis, the grief of the
Oh, yeah.
diagnosis, I love that you said, because people don't know what to say, but just to be with you in that, oh my God, that's like makes me want to cry, because I feel like immediately people try to fix the problem or fix
Yes,
whatever it is, and they don't allow you to feel the grief that you have. And
exactly.
that's amazing. I'm so glad you put words to what I felt like even I needed with my diagnosis, and other people not knowing what to do. That was exactly what I needed. Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, these beautiful little protector parts we have, they love to fix. Fix, fix,
Yes.
fix all the
Yes.
time. But a lot of times it's like, this is not very helpful right now. Thank you, sweetheart, for trying to fix. But like, you can talk to that part of yourself. But that's where your truest self, like when we are able to find that place within us, it's like, I'm surrendering to the emotion. I'm surrendering to the present moment, and I'm just going to hold space. That can feel like one of the scariest things to do. And yet that's exactly what the human body, what the human psyche is looking for. Just be with me. That's it.
Yes.
Do
And it
you
Yeah.
can feel
feel
very but it's amazing.
well,
Mhm.
because like with like Jen said, like, grief can be a loss or diagnosis, a change of like, there's so many ways grief can affect us, but sometimes we're not ready for all of it. Like, I feel like with my loss, at first, like, I could not handle the magnitude.
Yeah.
Like, I needed all my parts to keep my whole situation in place, right?
Right? Like, there's a time and like, there's a reason they show up because it is effective.
Yeah,
They wouldn't be here if it wasn't effective. Like,
right.
they're playing their roles effectively. They're keeping it tapered down for us, and sometimes we really need that. It is too much at once.
It feels so good to know that, like, all these parts of us are needed. I mean,
Yeah.
what a beautiful practice that you have, because
It is.
it's just like, I don't know, I don't even have like words to express how much I love what you're saying.
Yeah. You're like speaking to our hearts and
Yeah,
souls, and
like,
we just want to hug you at the
yeah, I
same
wish
I
we
time.
could.
know, right? I remember when I did the first IFS training, I was weeping. I'm like, "This
Yeah,
is so beautiful."
it's
Like,
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
everybody needs this, and it really speaks to, like, this is what the heart needs. When you have that reaction in that way, I think for anyone who finds IFS or even parts work in general, parts work is a more general term for this work, that people are getting trained and doing, but, like, it's just so needed. It's just, how do I just meet with love, whatever's here? And love looks different things. Love sometimes is, I just need to sit with you in silence. Love sometimes is, I'm going to take you to go get ice cream. It's just, how do I just be with you without trying to fix you? And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we're doing with the parts of us. We're just validating it. It's okay that you're here. What do you need? And we're
I
just going to be here. And
I
that's it. And that's
I
so
think,
healing.
like, with healing, we all, like, a lot of our listeners and us, we're like, let's dive deep. Like, let's
Yes.
get deep into it. Let's fix, like, you said, but just like, how do I heal at the best time, my
Optimize.
optimized healing. And this, like, this meets you where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the last place you wanna go.
Yeah.
It's like, "What? It can't be that." Like, we're just gonna, like, let it exist. It feels so counterintuitive. It really
Yeah.
is. And I will just say as a therapist too, like, I have that same feeling. It's like, I wanna go deep with people. Like, let's get to
Yeah.
the root. Let's go. It's like, and I think it's like, we know we're in the right field because we're fired up by the work we're doing. We get excited and passionate about this, and we wanna optimize the process for our clients. But when we weave in a little bit more of this type of work, it's like it's slow down to speed up. It really does. It is the thing that optimizes the process.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree. It's so funny in like a world that we live in with like biohacking and like all
Yeah.
the latest and greatest peptides and fancy things that I feel are more surface. This is so much deeper and it's slower.
Yeah.
And so for those of us that are like go, 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 like myself, to slow down and go deep feels so uncomfortable when you're looking at all these fancy, fast paced things, the blah, 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 that's what you're drawn to. So this is
Yes.
interesting.
It's fascinating, like, when I'm really doing IFS work, like, when we're really doing the work with clients, it's amazing how quickly people heal. It's like, oh, like you'd think we would have been here for for so long dealing with this past trauma or whatever it is. Like I just literally had a client this past month. She had intense childhood trauma, was just riddled with panic as an adult. She's like, it's time for me to go and face this, but I don't want to be with it. Like, it's like a lot of the classic what we do. It's like, this feels like a disease or a problem I need to get rid of, which makes sense. But using the IFS model, we literally did 2 sessions of just deep IFS work. Let's go in and witness the one who is hurt as a child, and let's go be with the one that's trying to always protect her from ever feeling that way.
Wow.
Literally, we did 2 sessions, and then
Oh my gosh.
we did a third one. She was more spiritual, so we did more spiritual-based work. And by literally we did these 3 sessions, and just this week, she's like, "I think I'm ready to end therapy. Like, I feel so good."
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, amazing. Like, that's the power of this work. And that's not to say every single person that'll be their experience, but it really goes to show, like, when we really get to the heart of what's going on, like, I love doing this work. Like, when you get to the real heart of, like, the part of you that has been your struggle, you actually get to know it. It actually is revealing what it's needing. You actually meet the need. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like it unlocks this whole version of yourself you didn't even know is there, like, so at peace, so relaxed, so calm, so in the present moment and joyful. It's the most powerful work. I can't recommend this work enough for people. And, like, you really have to experience it to know.
Yeah.
But hopefully even just like these little taster steps you can do on your own today, people can try on their own, you're going to feel a little bit of a shift inside. And obviously, if they want to dive deeper into it with a practitioner, can't recommend it enough.
So now, but because there's probably different parts of us at different seasons in our life that are like rearing their head for different reasons. Like we might feel like I guess there's a question in here, but like, let's just say like, oh, I found my like my calm, my center. I found, that part of myself. But then let's say we have just like a life change. Then there's another part that pops up. Like that's common, right?
So normal.
Okay.
So normal. And I think it's like, again, this is a part of us. It's like, it needs to all be better. I never have a problem again. I want to be done.
Yeah.
Like, that's that part of us that's there. It's like, I'm ready for the healing work to be done. But the truth is in the coaching work that I do, I have a program called The Way of Love. And this is so much of it is like, the way of love is like, I'm just loving whatever is arising. Like that is me being in my optimal state, because there will always be blocks. There will always be parts of me. There will always be things coming up. It's like, how do I just lovingly witness and compassion and be with whatever is arising in the moment? If I can do that, I've quote made it. Because it's like weather. It's like we're always going to have clouds sometimes. That's normal. That's healthy. But the sun's always there too. And it's just, if we can find a way to come back and access that sun within us, our truest self, that loving, compassionate, observant nature that can be with the parts, and we just keep doing that practice, we know how to work with it. And then you're not worried when the parts come up, because you know how to be with them.
That's the dream,
Oh my
right?
God, I love
That
that.
sounds so amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
you can work with people, like if we have listeners like here in Florida, like us, like I do feel like everybody needs this. Like, are
Yes.
they able to work with you even though they don't live in Oregon?
So as a therapist, I'm only licensed in Oregon. So unfortunately, I can only do the IFS therapy work in Oregon. I have been looking to get the telehealth license in Florida. That is
Oh,
something I've been considering. My husband and I have considered, like, should we look at Florida part-time or something like that? So
hey.
with that being said, potentially I would be able to be meeting with people in Florida in the near future to do the IFS therapy work. Yeah. But yes, if you're in
Amazing.
Oregon or potentially in Florida, I would be able to do the IFS work for you. The other thing you can do, like, I think it's so powerful, like, go to psychologytoday.com, whatever area you are in, put in your zip code. There's filters there, like, put in internal family systems as the modality. You're going to see a bunch of people pop up. You can put in like your insurance or other specific things you'd like in a therapist, so you can find someone in your state. Unfortunately, as therapists, we're still in this state by state licensing model.
yeah,
They're
same.
working on making it bigger than that, but
That's so
in the
helpful though.
meantime,
Yeah.
yeah, it is super helpful. In the coaching work that I do, can work with anyone, anywhere. I'm not working with clinical issues. So it's like, if you're wanting to move towards a positive goal in your life, the coaching modality, I'm a certified mastery method coach. there is a parts work modality that they have in it. But again, it's not treating trauma. It's not working on clinical issues, but it's a beautiful framework. It's a very similar type of a feel. Like we're just loving you back into life, into who you are, and then going for your goals from that place. It's so powerful.
Ooh, that is. Oh
Nice.
my God. I love it. We're going to put all of Claire's links in the show notes, guys, for you to find her. But before we go, is there anything, Claire, that like we did not ask you that you feel like you want to share?
Well, this was so beautiful today, you guys. And I can feel like the beautiful work that you're doing with your clients is amazing. And yes, it's like adding this modality in, like, or even just this like way to think about people is so powerful. I know when I found it, I'm like, this is life changing. I can never
Yeah.
see people the same way again.
Yeah.
It is.
I will say like me as an IFS therapist, like I'm IFS informed. I'm human too, right? It's like I have those moments like if you don't do the work, it won't work.
Yeah.
If I go through phases where I'm not slowing down and I'm not listening inside and I'm not being with me, I get stuff that comes up too, and that's normal. So when you have the tool, it's using the tools. When you use the
Mm,
tools, when you are taking the time to slow down and listen, even if it's not a formal IFS modality, even if it's just, can I slow down, listen to my body, and just inquire, what do you want me to know today? And just see what arises. It's so healing and healthy for the body to be heard. And it will support your physical health as well as your emotional health too. And you'll be surprised what comes up. So it's just making the time to do it. It's like going to the gym. It's like that thing I know is so good when I do it, but am I making the time to do it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's the same with this
Beautiful.
type of work.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. I really appreciate your taking the time, really do, from like the bottom of my heart. This was so awesome.
I
And I
know.
feel
It's so
like
good.
it's going to resonate with so many people that are trying different things, not sure how to tap. But it's kind of like what Dr. Jen and I talk about, like when if somebody were to ask us, like, where do I start? It's like sometimes you just have to start with like some really what we deem simple, like we just like
Yeah.
sleep, right? For us, we always say like you just need to sleep better. Like it just get like some of these things that you don't want to sit with, but they are actually like free. You can do it just in 5 minutes. You could like, it's just interesting that like we're always looking externally. We're always
Mhm.
trying to figure it out. Like, how do I do like like you said, the next big thing, like these fancy gadgets or whatever. And it can
Yeah.
be super simple, but deep, obviously. So, but thank you so much for sharing all of your information.
Yes. Thank you, Claire. I feel like I wish you lived here. Like I want to
Same.
hang out with you
I
all the
know.
time.
I know. I want to hang out with you guys. I want to come to your clinic. Like this is
Yes.
I want to work with you guys.
Oh my God, literally, that would be a dream
It
if
would.
you
Oh
did.
my
Like,
gosh, I know.
my
You guys
heart
are
would
There's
like
space here
explode.
for you.
We do have a room for you if
We
that
do.
happens. Yeah.
It's already ready.
I love it. It's truly such a gift to be with you both today. I'm so blessed by you and I'm so excited for your audience. Like, obviously, all the beautiful wisdom you're teaching them is incredible. I know from the other podcast episodes I listened to, you guys are a wealth of knowledge. So I'm
Thank
so
Thank
grateful
you.
I could be a part of
you.
your podcast today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Come
guys.
back anytime.
Yeah, we might have Claire back on because this was amazing.
I love it. So
All
good.
right.
Thank you all so much.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.